Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. So we are already solving LeetCode top 15 theory problems for SQL, and we have already solved 8 problems in this series. And now let's move on to the ninth problem, which is rising temperature. So this is also a very good problem, and we are all in the subsection of joins, okay, natural joins and all type of joins, basic joins I would say. So in this problem we are given a table weather, and we need to find an SQL query to find all dates, all IDs where temperatures compared to the previous day is greater. Okay, so as an example, let me tell you. So for ID 2 the temperature is 25, which is greater than the previous day. So what is the previous day for this day? It is 2015 January 02, and the previous day is 2015 0101. Okay, so for ID 2 we need to print the IDs of all the weather dates where the temperature is greater than the previous day. Similarly for ID 4 we can see that temperature is 30, which is greater than 20. But for ID 3 we can see that the temperature at the previous day was 25, which is greater than the current temperature, so we do not require that. Okay, so this is a single table which we are given. So now again let's move on to the I have already made a whiteboard so to explain you. So now this is a clear cut case of self join. Okay, now how I identified that this is a case of self join? Because we are only given a single table, right? Now we want to backtrack, or we want to go back to some previous day and find out what was the temperature, right? So we need to have a other table also, right? Because there should be some joining condition, right? There should be some joining condition, right? There should be some joining condition, right? See, there could be some ways where you can solve this problem using subqueries or ranks, but those are because since we are solving in a sequential manner, I am not teaching you, or I am not solving the problems with this methodology. So as of now let's solve it using in a self joins. Okay, so this the concept of self join is explained in this problem. So this is a very good problem I would say, and that's why it has got more likes. So let me explain to you. Okay, sorry, yeah. So these two are the tables. Okay, so these two are the tables. We have already found out that we need to solve this problem using self join. Okay, now on what basis you will join this? On what basis you will join this two table? Also, see, there could be lots of problems that could be solved using cross joins or scalar multiplication. Multiplication means you blindly map all of the rows with all other rows. Okay, so this row would be mapped with this row, this row, this row, and this row, right? So there would be 4 cross 4, I would say 16 combinations, 16 rows. Okay, if you use multiplication, normal multiplication. Okay, so you do not require to use that, right? So for that, sorry for the interruption. So for that we need to use some in a self join, right? But on what basis you will join? See, you can join on the basis of the IDs. Okay, IDs in both of the tables you can join it, but there should be some other condition also. What is the other condition? We need that the record date for, let's say, this is W1, this is W2. Okay, now I need to check that the W2's record date is greater than this W1's record date, and on the other end the temperature, W2 dot temp is also greater than W1 dot temp. Okay, so on these conditions I would join these two tables and find out the IDs. So that is the simplest task. Okay, now what would be the result of joining condition? So the joining condition would give me two IDs. The IDs are 2 and 4. Why? See, these are two tables, W1 and W2. Okay, now when you join on the basis of that W2's ID, sorry, W2's record date is greater than W1's record date. So what all rows will come? See, first of all, let's apply only one condition. What is the first condition? W2's record date is greater than W1's record date. So this is the first joining condition. So what all rows will come? So there would be many rows, right? See, W2 will consist of this. So the row number 2, row number 3 and row number 4 will be in our output result. Okay, but there could be duplicates also, yeah, so do not forget that. But when I apply second condition, W2's temperature is greater than W1's temperature, then what all will remain? This 3 will go away, right? Because on 3 I can see that temperature is 20 here, and on 3 here it is 20, on the previous day it is 25, right? So I will eliminate this 3, and finally I would print this 2 and 4. Okay, so this is the problem. Now see, I can solve it using multiplication also. Let me show you the approach first. So how would you solve this? Okay, so as I told you, first do not identify the attributes. First I identify the joining tables and joining conditions. Okay, so we have some attributes from weather w1 and yeah, whether w1, and either you can use join or either you can use I would say multiplication. So you can either do join or you can use multiplication. We would join on the basis of whether 2 on what are the conditions? W2's record date should be greater than W1's record date, and W2's temperature should be greater than W1's temperature. And for that I would print W2 ID. Okay, yes. See, there is one more important case which we need to identify, that the date difference should be always be equal to 1, right? Date difference should always be equal to 1. See, if I try to run this code, what is the output? Let's see it. See, we are getting 2, 3, 4. Okay, we are getting lots of many IDs. We are getting W2 IDs. There are lots of IDs, right? But we need to identify only those IDs. We need to identify that the previous day's only temperature, right? For 1 there is no previous day, for 2 there is a previous day, right? So we need to also check that the date difference between W2 dot record date and W3 dot record date is always equal to 1. If we do that, if we do this, then only we will get the corresponding result output. Okay, also we need to add one more condition, and what is that condition? Date diff. The date diff is a by default function in MySQL. W2 dot record date and W1's dot record date is equal to 1. Okay, now let me try to submit it. Let me try to run the code. Yeah, so we are getting the corresponding result. This is 2 and 4. So this is very important condition, and you should not forget this condition. Okay, so let me try to submit it. Okay, it is getting accepted. So we have already solved 8 problems of this series, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. And in case if you know any other solution for this problem which is more optimized, or it is simpler query, then you should comment it down. Okay, and do not forget to like the content. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel.